So about a month ago, corporate Democrat Cory Booker from New Jersey received a tremendous amount of backlash after he voted against an amendment proposed by Bernie Sanders and Amy Klobuchar that would have lowered the prices of prescription drugs by allowing Americans to import our drugs from Canada. Now, he contends that his vote was contingent on the fact that Canada doesn't have the same rigorous regulatory standards as we have. So since he can't trust the quality of drugs from Canada, he's against this measure. Now, that's obviously bullshit because we all know that the reason why he voted against this bill was because he took $300,000 from the pharmaceutical industry. So, thankfully, it looks as though progressives have effectively shamed him into doing the right thing. So, the Huffington Post explains, back in mid-January, while Democrats were still recovering from the shock of the presidential election, 13 Democrats cast a dead-of-night vote that in previous years would have gone largely unnoticed. It was against an amendment from Senator Bernie Sanders that directed a Senate committee to write legislation allowing for the reimportation of cheaper prescription drugs from Canada. Perhaps the most prominent of the baker's dozen was Senator Cory Booker, who just the day before had given controversial and impassioned testimony against Attorney General nominee, at a time a fellow senator from Alabama. The backlash caught Booker and his colleagues by surprise, and in many ways it presaged the furious energy that would soon be unleashed by progressives against both Trump and elected Democrats unwilling to stand up to him. It was a sign that things had changed in Washington and that standard operating Democratic procedure would no longer be acceptable. The memo has been received. On Tuesday, Booker will join with Sanders at a press conference on Capitol Hill to announce his support for a drug reimportation bill. So, this is good news. You are now on the right side of the issue, Cory. But in doing this, he thinks he redeemed himself because we all know what he's going to do. So in 2020, when he inevitably makes his run for president, he's going to brag about this and say, you know what, I listened to my constituents. When they told me they wanted me to vote a certain way, I did. And I teamed up with Bernie Sanders, so I'm a uniter. I am from the Hillary Clinton wing of the party, but I worked with Bernie Sanders to propose a bill that would make prescription drugs cheaper for all Americans. No, let me just stop you right now before you do that, because we all know that's what you're going to do. You don't get credit for being shamed into doing the right thing. It's a problem that you weren't on the right side of this issue, which I think is just common sense to begin with. The fact that we had to force you and twist your arm to get you to do something that goes against your donors shows that you're still corrupt. You've shown that you have the capacity to change your vote based on money. Money influences you. You've proven that. You are corrupt and you exude everything that we disliked about Hillary Clinton. There were numerous examples as to how Hillary Clinton changed her vote as a result of accepting money from the industry. So, for example, bankruptcy bill. Elizabeth Warren talks about this. She flipped her vote as soon as she began accepting money from the industry when they lobbied her for it. So I am done with these types of Democrats who want to betray their voters, and then once they finally get pressured into taking the right stance on the issue after we yell at them and twist their arms, then they brag about it. No. So before he brags, before you even start this bullshit propaganda campaign and brag about how you're progressive and how you worked with Bernie Sanders, just know we're not buying what you're selling, and your chances in 2020 are still over. So I'm happy that you decided to come to the right side of the issue, but it shouldn't have taken all of this. We should be focusing on Republicans right now, but the fact that we have to focus on corrupt Democrats too, it's really frustrating because we have a right-wing extremist party in control of all branches of government. We shouldn't have to worry about you guys, but unfortunately we do. So just know this, Cory Booker. I'm glad you finally did the right thing, but you get no praise for that. And we are watching every single thing you do. And because we know you're going to run for president in 2020, he's going to be meeting with the Democratic Party. They're going to kind of have this talk over the 2020 run with potential contenders. It's not going to happen. We will fight to stop you because I don't care that you took the right stance now. What would have shown to the American people that you care about them is if you took the right stance and we didn't have to pressure you to do it. So not only will we still try to primary you, but you're not going to run for president, buddy. And if you do, have fun facing resistance from progressives just like Hillary Clinton did.
Support this podcast by joining the independent progressive media revolution today at humanistreport.com.